welcome to this third place playoff in the Australian Rugby Shield women's competition. Kicking off our finals day with a clash between Victoria and the New South Wales, so ACT and Southern New South Wales Kestrels. Both these sides finished second in their respective round robin games, and we're playing off to take out third spot in this final today on what is a nice warm day in Brisbane, a nice public holiday as well, so no excuse not to tune into this one today. Both of these teams have really been impressive in the opening rounds of the competition, just narrowly finishing second in their pools with one defeat each. Victoria coming second to Queensland Country in Pool A, and the Kestrels just narrowly missing out to New South Wales Country in Pool B. And a quick look at the lineups today between Victoria, who are actually the defending champions of the Australian Rugby Shield. Quick look at their lineup there, noting some of those jersey number changes. Plenty of players returning from last year's championship team.
And they are followed here on pitch one by Victoria.
And a quick look now at the ACT and Southern New South Wales Kestrels outfit. They are new to the competition this year, with the women's competition expanding to 8 teams, and they've made a few changes, with Lily Bone coming to the second row there, McConaughey going into number 6 and forward at number 7. A few reshuffles from their last game of the pool rounds against the Black Falcons, which they comfortably won, giving them plenty of momentum coming into this finals day after a break yesterday. And it will be Victoria getting us underway in this third place playoff at Ballymore, and this should be a cracker between these games today. Be Vatau Tuai getting us underway for Victoria. And the Kestrels take it cleanly and start to mount the attack. And the Kestrels looking to move the ball. They've really used their whole 15 to try and shift the ball through this competition, and through players like Morrison there, who just ran it up. The front rowers have shown their athleticism at times. Just a wayward pass there slows them down. And looking to the left there, Victoria just not giving them any space at the moment, and as said previously, Victoria were the defending champions of this competition, but have come up against stiff competition this year. The Kestrels looking very threatening so far, just trying to run it out of their own half, not afraid to just keep the ball in hand, not looking to do any early kicks, just making some meters. Enyi there, just chucking it up. Dawa, who's been a threat for them all competition, just offloads it to the right. And Brigstock with the pace, just taken down. Masters' pass just not quite collected there. And so the Kestrels cough up possession and will pack down for the scrum. Another look at that. Masters looking for that inside pass, just dropped there.
Crouch.
Jane Waters feeding for Victoria. Got it out cleanly.
Back.
Just a wayward pass, but knocked back. And Victoria have a chance. The Kestrels win the penalty in the breakdown, not releasing. And we can see there it is already a very warm morning at Ballymore. And the Kestrels are taking no chance with that sun, looking for any bit of protection they can get. Lily Bone kicking out to touch. She's shifted into the second row today after playing a number of roles in the back row so far in the pool rounds, and she's been one of their better players, just a teenager, Bone. And the Kestrels win that one easily. And Eni goes the palm and drags some defenders with her, making some valuable meters there. And Lindsay is shifted to inside centre this match, goes to McConaughey. Doesn't quite make many meters, but again been very effective. Another young member of this Kestrels back row. An inside pass to Jess Grant, who goes over for the Kestrels for the first score in just the 4th minute. And it's a perfect start for the ACT and Southern New South Wales side in this third place playoff
ACT Southern
today.
New South Wales Kestrels open the account for this final game with a try conversion attempt to come.
Another look at that, a nice quick offloading chain. Maslin saw Grant there and she just pushed off a defender and crashed over the line. Easy as you like. And converted some of that early attacking momentum. Just turned up the pace a little bit and then used her strength to get over the line and eventually get it down. The Masters will have a fairly straightforward kick attempt to add the extras. And she makes it easily. So the Kestrels have a 7-0 lead. Nearly 5 minutes gone in this third place playoff of the Australian Rugby Shield women's competition. And another look at that 5-pointer there. Jess Grant just finishing it off. As Victoria get ready to restart this one. No one able to collect that too cleanly, but Dava does come up with it for the Kestrels as they mount an attack. A little juggle there, and a great hit from Victoria there. Just putting some pressure on the Kestrels. There's a very nice tackle there from Katie Bugden, just to force that knock on. It's very important for Victoria, who now find themselves in quite a good attacking position. Quickly shift to the right, and Talia. You would think Victoria would have come into this game as the narrow favourites after 2 wins and 1 loss in their Pool A games, and coming in as the defending champions after winning the inaugural Women's Australian Rugby Shield last year. In their pool rounds, they narrowly beat Queensland Country and 12-10, and then suffered a defeat to Perth Gold 24-17, as well as, and then concluded their pool rounds with a 43-5 win over Queensland Suburban. So they come in with plenty of momentum after that dominant win on Saturday, but it's the Kestrels who have all the momentum so far. And they came just 4 points short of winning their own pool as well, with just a 20-17 defeat against New South Wales Country. The difference for the Kestrels, separating them from first place in these preliminary rounds. And as they have in most of their games so far, they start with a lot of attacking momentum, and it's just about whether they can convert it into points, the Kestrels. We've already seen it's a very sunny, steamy morning here at Ballymore. So it will not be an easy task to keep up the intensity for the full 70 minutes. As the Kestrels look to quickly shift the ball and try and catch Victoria on the hop. Dava finds the break, but is taken down there by Talia. And they look to recycle quickly again. Hasn't been much separating the teams across this competition so far this weekend, with plenty of tight matches, which is a really positive time to see in an expanded women's competition. See so many exciting, intense matches, particularly in this Pool B. So Kestrels keep that attacking chain moving. And Grace Ty finds a gap down the left-hand wing there and breaks tackle, nearly breaks another one, but forced into touch by Victoria.
Yes.
And that was, she has been an attacking weapon for them, Ty, this week. And she's doing a winger's job very well. Looked like she was really running into open space there, but just taken down by Leveni and forced into touch. Really great defense there from Victoria to stop that opportunity under immense pressure.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady.
Victoria, Brewer putting pressure on the Victorian half. And they quickly go for the touchline. Just looking at some of the other finals today.
Open that gap for me, ladies.
The main event at,
Open that gap just a bit more.
2 o'clock local, 3 o'clock daylight saving time is Queensland Country taking on New South Wales Country, after both those teams went through undefeated in the pool rounds. And it is Perth Gold and the Australian Defence Force
No 10, no 10.
playing off for 5th at 2:30 local time. 2:30 daylight savings time, rather, 1:30 local time. And in the 7th place playoff is the game that follows this game, which will be at 10:30 local time, 11:30 daylight savings time, is Queensland Suburban taking on South Australia. With every team getting a chance to play on this finals day. Lindsay and Martins there with the 1-2, and Ty again takes it back, and she looks at the gap and has Darwa running a great support line, and she finishes off beautifully, the fullback. That's a great piece of attacking rugby there from the Kestrels, showing plenty of cohesion in that group, knowing exactly where they are. Darwa running a great support line, ready to collect that pass from Ty and finish off that attacking passage. The Kestrels now lead 12-0 after 11 minutes in this one. Just nice little 1-2 there between Masters and Lindsay, and Ty just finds that gap and has a great support runner in Darwa, who gets her first try of the match. And the momentum is really all with the ACT and Southern New South Wales side early. The Victorians really being forced to defend in the early stages of this one. It's Darva's second try of the competition. And while she might not have found herself on the scoreboard that often, she has been integral in creating attacking chances for the Kestrels. Plenty of try assists and plenty of crucial metres gained for her team as Masters lines up for the conversion attempt. And just hooks that one left, and the score remains 12-0 to the Kestrels.
Unsuccessful
after
conversion, the
12
score
minutes.
remains ACT Southern New South Wales 12, Victoria 0.
Lindsay takes the restart for the Kestrels as they look to put themselves again in attack. Victoria win an important penalty in the breakdown there. Oh, and now we see the Kestrels have gone back a couple of rows in the stands there just to find some shade. It's just 9:15 in the morning, but it is already a very warm September day in Brisbane, 23 degrees. A nice attacking run there, but great turnover from Vatau Tuai for Victoria as they try to wrestle some momentum back in this one. And contested well there by Jess Grant from the Kestrels, but Victoria do get it away, and the pressure put on Waters there forces a knock-on. Fantastic defensive pressure from the Kestrels, just not giving Victoria the chance to unleash their attacking skills, forcing them to defend. Certainly would understand if these players were feeling it after some intense matches over the past 4 or 5 days. But both of these sides really showing that they are up for the fight in this third place playoff.
Set. Hold.
Little kick there from the Kestrels, just trying to gain some field position. Just swallowed up by Hallie Derrera as the Victorians look to find a gap. Got plenty of pace in that back line. They just haven't had the chance to keep the ball in hand. Just showing some patience here, Victoria. A little bit of push and shove there, but not much to see. And the Kestrels win the penalty in the breakdown, again applying very intense defensive pressure onto Victoria, who haven't really even found their way into the Kestrels half much so far after 15 minutes. And it'll be disappointing for them, but just the 2 tries so far from the Kestrels in 15 minutes, so they lead 12-0. Plenty of time for the defending champs to find their way back into this one.
There was just 2 balls. We'll reset the line out. There's just 2 balls on the field.
Yes, we'll reset that line out.
Shame mark, guys.
To a stray ball rolled onto the field, so we're back for that line out. Throw in by the Kestrels. The set piece has been really solid for them this competition. The Kestrels managed to create a lot of momentum off the back of solid lineouts and scrums. And they're making no secret of the fact that they really just want to run the pill, looking for long passes, trying to find it out there into the wing. Jess Grant barges her way through a couple of Victorian defenders. And Lindsay tries to defend, but is wrapped up there by Victoria. And Dava shifts the ball left. Ty gets it just away to Morrison on that left wing.
No advantage, guy. Just slipped up.
We'll come back for previous penalty.
Halfway's your mark. On the line.
Kestrels have another chance to build some attack off their set piece here. Maslin throws it in, they take it cleanly, not really contested by Victoria as they look to attack, defend the attacking line there.
No advantage. Knock on.
A little bit of a juggle from the Kestrels, but it was advantage, so we'll come back for the scrum. Already a few spectators in the stands on the shady side, no surprises. Just keeping an eye on this one. Great to see women having the opportunity here to play in this competition. She's grown to 8 teams this year in 2 pools after the inaugural competition played in South Australia last year. And all of the games live on Rugby.com.au and Rugby Explorer as Victoria look to kick into advantage. Dava just waiting there to swallow it up and run it straight back into the defending champion line. And she makes some good meters, but this Victorian defence are just rushing up. And it was Waters there who forced the knock-on of her opposite number and Brewer. And it just feels like Victoria have just ratcheted up the intensity in defence the last few minutes.
Just hold scrum, ladies.
After a bit of a rusty start, being on the back foot, they're determined. Just looked like there in the back of play that winger Grace Ty might have been substituted as well for the Kestrels after a promising start. Getting a bit of medical attention. It'll be a disappointing loss for the Kestrels if she fails to return. And a little mistake there. But Victoria do win the penalty in the scrum. Now they have a chance to kick to touch and put themselves in the most promising attacking position that they will have had all day. And it's a nice kick into touch. See that again. Kestrels just deemed to have pulled down the scrum. And Emily Harvey throwing in for Victoria. Oh, and the Kestrels nearly disrupt that line out, but...
Line out, same mark, guys. Mark's there.
A little mistake there in the lineup from Victoria, and the Kestrels now on the attack once more. Throws straight to the Victorian player, but they knock the ball on, but the Kestrels pick it up and will keep playing. They've just been able to put Victoria on the back foot this whole first half, determined to finish their competition off with a win. We'll go back. No advantage. And Bone will kick to touch. And we'll have a line out right on the halfway here at Ballymore, with the Kestrels well and truly in the driving seat after 21 minutes of this clash. Tries to Grant and Dava so far, and 1 conversion to Becca Masters. Victoria just not able to get themselves into any threatening position in attack. And a short line out there from the Kestrels goes to Grant and back to Maslin. Caught the Victorians by surprise there. And Grant again makes a promising run. And the Kestrels just, as they have this competition, they don't need to rely on the boot much. They like to run the footy, work their way into gaps and use their pace. Lindsay just shifting left there. The pass doesn't really go to anyone, but collected there by Fua, who goes to the left wing there. But Edwards is taken down. Looks like she has come on in place of Grace Ty, and it's Georgie Lindsay there having a chat to a trainer. Potentially a rib issue of some kind or a head knock. And it looks like she's just been taken hard in that tackle there.
I've lost you.
Just a little bit winded and maybe hit her head on the way down as well. So just breathing very hard after that one, knocked the wind out of her. And the trainer just having a look at her ribs there after that big tackle. Nothing untoward in it, just really feeling it there, Georgie Lindsay. I don't like to see this. She's had a great competition for the Kestrels so far, as the teams just congregate into their huddles just to reset as trainers attend to that injury. She's up and walking, Lindsay, but will be taken off. It's disappointing for her to come off so early after it's had a very effective competition so far, but she has been brilliant for the Kestrels, and good to see that it doesn't look like anything serious there after that tackle from Victoria really just knocked the wind out of her. Just grabbing her middle there, Lindsay, and just some potentially problems with the ribs as the Kestrels through Lily Bone get us underway again. And it is the Kestrels leading 12-0. So with some early injury concerns. Annie runs it up, but she's wrapped up quickly by her opposite number. And Victoria win the ball and are quick to clear it. Doesn't quite go into touch, and Dava has the chance to return the favour.
Bring them on. Bring them on.
Just waiting for some subs to come on now, with Crystal DeMeyer coming on for Victoria. Just a reminder, we have rolling substitutions in the Australian Rugby Shield. Very important in what has been a very warm week in Brisbane.
Scott, that side. Scott, that side forward.
Important for the teams to be able to manage their players' workload.
Yep.
Ensure they can maintain the intensity for the full 70 minutes here. Victoria just tapped that line out back to Waters and try to power their way through the Kestrels' defensive line. A long pass back and straight onto the boot. Not quite collected there by Edwards, but it is knocked back, so she picks it up and passes inside to Dava, who throws it on the boot. Now, after just saying before how much they like to run the ball, the Kestrels are showing they aren't afraid to kick. And Victoria knock it on, unfortunately, and have their attacking chance snuffed out. And we'll pack down for the scrum. It's a nice kick over the top there from Dava, as Ratu just tried to pick it up for Victoria, but couldn't collect it and just fumbled it forward.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
It takes a little while, but the Kestrels do hook the ball out the back there to Brewer. And she's immediately wrapped up. And that defensive pressure does force a Kestrels knock on. They have been forced to defend for pretty much this entire 25 minutes, Victoria, but they have been intense in that defensive pressure. It's been 14 minutes since the Kestrels last scored a try, and we've really had the play parked between the two 22s, so no one has been able to really wrestle the momentum advantage since that last Kestrels try. Victoria just turning up the intensity on their opposition, and they pick it up from the back of the scrum. Hannah Townsend the one to run it out of there. And trying a different tack this time, just shifting the ball, and then a soccer there from Talia. And
Play on, advantage.
there is a contest, but it's the Kestrels who come up with it, and Dava just steps right, steps left, and passes to Edwards, who throws it over the shoulder, but it goes to ground. But no matter for the Kestrels, they'll come back for the previous penalty, not rolling away. And a nice little kick there, something a little bit different, and nearly collected there
What numbers?
by Leveni, but she just couldn't
Currently on
quite
field
scoop it up on the
2,
run, and the Kestrels get it back.
7, Tasmania 7.
No look pass there from Edwards just brings us back
Thank you.
to the scrum. And a number of the players in this Victorian team were part of that title-winning team last year, and they'll be looking to get their way back into this one, but they haven't had many opportunities today. Kestrels really dominating possession and field position, particularly in the first 15 minutes. Got about 8 minutes left in this first half as Scrivener runs the ball up for the Kestrels,
Hey, offside.
and they win an offside penalty. Nice run there from Scrivener, who's just breaks one tackle and is wrapped up in the second. And they kick to the corner, and they put themselves, the Kestrels, into a very dangerous position. Victoria's defence has been very effective in the second part of this first half, but they'll be really tested again by this one. They'll be not wanting to concede any more points in this first half. And a long throw there goes into the hands of Tanya Yabaki as Victoria.
No advantage. Right here. At the
The
try.
advantage is snuffed out, and they'll have another chance to reset their attack, Victoria. A little pressure reliever for them, that line out. Just the overthrow into the hands of Kamai Bure for Victoria, who just jinked left and right and was met by Kestrels, but the advantage brings us back to the scrum. Just on the 5 metre line, deep in the Victoria's defensive territory.
Advantage.
Waters passes back into the in-goal, and Vitao Tuai just gets it away in the nick of time, but Edwards cleans it up.
Angle.
Just Victoria,
See on the 5.
they come back for a penalty in the scrum against the Kestrels. A nice little kick over the top under pressure, but it was collected by the Kestrels, but there was an infringement before that anyway. So Victoria will have a chance to throw in now after kicking to touch. Still deep in defence.
Okay. No, I'm happy with that.
Nearly ticking over to 30 minutes into in this one. 5 minutes left in this first half for the defending champions to get on the board, and they just tap it backwards to Waters. Quickly look to shift it and straight onto the boot. Just trying to get some good field position. Dava can't quite collect it for the Kestrels, and she returns the favour, puts it on the boot. Bounces into open space. A nice chase there from Brigstock as Victoria just looking for a halfback there to pick up the footy.
You're crawling on the ground over it. You're off your feet.
And the Kestrels off their feet there, putting on a lot of pressure, but Victoria win that penalty. And we'll have a line out. Just another look at that. Another kick from Darvo. Showed some effectiveness there, but it was Victoria who were able to scoop it up.
Yep.
And just no halfback there to meet them. They'll have the line out and they'll be looking again, potentially look for another positive kick to get them out of trouble. And Grant does well to try and disrupt that line out, but Victoria do get it away in the end. And Vatau Tuai kicks it into space, bounces back into the hands of Leveni. But some great defense there from Dava.
Had their time.
Once again, they really relied on the boot of Vatau Tuai there, Victoria so far, and it was really nicely collected. But Dava had her eyes on the Victorian winger and was immediately able to force her into touch. Really good defense. A little bit of a fumble there from the Kestrels gives Victoria the opportunity to take them down in defense, but they maintain their possession on the ball. Forward just twirling her way through to the defensive line, trying to make some extra meters. And seeing quite a few spectators already in here. Great to see people turning out for some women's rugby. It's been a pretty brutal competition for these players so far in hot conditions. And it's great to see them have this opportunity. An 8-team competition this year. And it's the Kestrels who have all the momentum, had all the momentum early. The last sort of 20 minutes, it's been a bit of a slog for both teams. No one really able to get themselves into a really strong attacking position as they just both try to kick themselves out of trouble. As the Kestrels had tended towards the ball in hand early on, but have relied more now on the boot of Viola Dawa, where Victoria also looking to try and gain field position off the boot. As we have some substitutes coming on, with Lossalini Gale coming on to the field for Victoria. A little bit of a dance at the line out and just goes over the top to nobody, and Bone picks it up for the Kestrels. Disappointing for Victoria, but their defence has been immense.
Captain, we'll play the penalty. I don't know, man, down here. No more. That's enough.
No more penalties,
And the referee just giving Victoria a warning. The penalty count just creeping up. And the last thing that the Victorian women would want after already being under pressure in defence would be to give away a card at this point, with the Kestrels marching on in attack and starting to gain some momentum. Just that overthrow in the line out there with Bone picking it up. And
front.
A big clean out there from Driddy. Plenty of chat there from the sidelines. Encouragement for both sides.
Ball!
And Kestrels line up straight into the maul. Grant just pinned in the middle of that one. Puts the ball out the back. This is likely to be the last attacking chance of the half for either team, as Brigstock takes it up and evades the Victorian line, despite the best efforts of Derrera there. Or rather, she is pushed into touch. An almost certain try there, snuffed out by Victoria. A fantastic defensive effort from them. Brigstock looked like she was in for all money.
No, when I was running, it started.
And that will be
Come out.
the halftime break, with the Kestrels leading 12-0 in this third place playoff, with Jess Grant getting an early try in the 4th minute and Viola Dawa scoring the second in the 11th, and Becca Masters slotting 1 conversion. But since then, no scores have been able to be made by either team, as Victoria's defence really turned up the intensity on the Kestrels, and both of these sides really wanting to finish with a win, so can expect the intensity to be maintained in this second half despite the warm conditions here. Both teams really looking desperate to finish off the competition with a win and take out 3rd spot in the Australian Rugby Shield. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this opening half.
score on field 2, Tasmania 10, Queensland Suburban 7.
Just another look at the scorers, Darva and Grant, and Becca Masters with one of the 2 conversions today. Victoria not able to get on the scoreboard in that first half, but really doing a great job to stop the attacking momentum of the Kestrels after that second try. And they'll be pleased with that effort. They snuffed out a try just on half-time as well. And while they've been forced to defend really for that first half, the defending champions will be pleased to be as close as they are after being on the back foot for much of that first 35 minutes. And now they have a chance for a water break to reset, come back onto the field in the second half and really push their ACT and Southern New South Wales opposition in this third place playoff. And we'll just take a little break and be back for that second half in just a few minutes' time. The second half not far away here at Ballymore as Victoria take on the ACT Southern New South Wales Kestrels for third spot in the Australian Rugby Shield women's competition. And it is the Kestrels leading 12-0 after 2 early first half tries. Just before we get underway again, a quick look at the rest of the finals action today live on Rugby Explorer and Rugby.com.au. Straight after this game, we've got the 7th place playoff between Queensland Suburban and the South Australia Black Falcons. At 1:30 local time, 2:30 daylight savings time, we have Perth Gold taking on the Australian Defence Force for 5th spot. And then the last game of the day at 2 o'clock local, 3 o'clock Australian daylight time, we have Queensland Country taking on New South Wales Country for the top title in this competition. Both of the country sides undefeated so far as the Kestrels get us underway for the second half in this third place playoff. Talia with the first attack for Victoria. They look to shift the ball. Nearly went to ground that one, but then onto the boot as Victoria looked to quickly get some attacking position. But Darva snuffs that out almost immediately, passing it to Brigstock, who makes some crucial meters before being taken down in that tackle. And a great turnover there. Victoria win the penalty, win the scrum there. Some fantastic defensive effort from them. Another look at that one. As Maslin just runs into the defensive line, loses the footy, and the Victorians just pounce on it there in the breakdown. And they have been intense in their defence, which is really the reason why, despite the margin looking quite relatively large, both of those scores were scored by the Kestrels in the opening 11 minutes of this game, and since then they haven't been able to cross the line. And Victoria, despite being parked in defence a lot of the game, have done well to stop that as Brewer puts the pressure on from the Kestrels. And that's what you like to see from your halfback. Just straight on onto Maria Montoya there, giving her no time to set up the Victorian attack. And disappointing for Victoria, who have looked promising in these early couple of minutes of this second half. And the defending champions of the Australian Rugby Shield, Victoria, will be looking to get on the scoreboard. And they win the penalty in the scrum. And it's critical for Victoria. They need to be the first ones probably to score in this second half. They've had all the defensive demands so far this game. And they quickly look to make meters, but they can't get the ball to go into touch, and Dava runs it back. She has been incredibly influential for the Kestrels today, scoring a try. And it looks like Bone might have just knocked it on a little bit there, but deemed not to have. And the Kestrels keep going on in attack through Dritti. And just looking to quickly shift it. Maslin comes up again. Bit of a flying tackle there from Victoria, but they're just building pressure, the Kestrels. Edwards on the left wing there. She's shown some toe this competition. She tries to sneak through a gap there. Is dragged away by Victoria as Brewer picks it up at halfback. And Edwards cleaning up at the back of the ruck there. And the Kestrels lose the ball out. But the tackler had not rolled away, so the Kestrels will win the penalty there. And quick tap. They're making no secret of their intention to really run the footy. It's where they've had all of their attacking chances generated from. Just being patient and hanging on to the footy. The Kestrels, they really back their attack. And a knock on there at the back of the ruck by Jane Morrison. Just a little bit too eager to get things going in attack, and just made a little error, giving Victoria the chance in the scrum. Just a nice pass there from Brewer. A quick little inside pass. Dritti goes down in the tackle, and Morrison just knocks it on. So just in the effort to try and get the recycle quickly, they cough up possession.
Set. Hold.
And Victoria win the scrum and look to shift the ball quickly straight onto the boot. It's been their go-to today. The long-range kicking to try and get some good field position. But
that's 3 times that side has collapsed the scrum. I don't want any more.
Just a little warning there from the referee as a Victorian player just down behind play with what looks like potentially a knee concern. Just pulled up sore after that last scrum. And not the sight you like to see. Victoria have been solid in the scrum today. It will be a substitution here for Victoria by the looks of it. There's an injury concern there. It's been a pretty brutal contest so far, with both sides losing players fairly early on. Just the intensity of the defence and the contact from these teams.
Let's go, water off.
She gets a cheer coming off the field there. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Let's go, Vic. Water off, please.
On a very warm day, already a max of 27 expected today, and 86% humidity. So it's a trademark Queensland day, and everyone, Queensland country players, it looks like, watching on there ahead of their clash later on today for the Australian Rugby Shield title for 2023. Sitting safely up in the shade. It's only 10 to 10 in the morning in Queensland. It's already very steamy, 24 degrees, and the humidity rising accordingly. And that's the kind of conditions these players have had to play in all week, but they're still bringing the intensity in this third place playoff, which is impressive in itself. And to play 4 games in 5 days, no mean feat. As Victoria look to shift it right, put it on the boot, just toe it into attack, but Dava swallows it up again. She's been a thorn in Victoria's side all day so far. She breaks a tackle, takes a big effort from Hannah Townsend to take Dava down there, as the Kestrels just look to set their attack up. And a little juggle there from Morrison, but she manages to collect the footy and keep it in hand. And these Kestrels are just relentless with the running of the footy. They like to keep the ball in hand, not afraid to build up phases, and then back their wingers and their outside backs to finish off the job. And sometimes their front rowers and second rowers too, actually. Jess Grant being the first try scorer for them today. We're just looking for the right-hand side now, with Brigstock, a little step, a little skip, but forced into touch by Victoria there, as the Victorian bench watches on in the warm Queensland sun. Just looking at that little passage of play. Maslin out to the right there, nearly loses it. Brigstock thinks she has an opportunity, tries to evade the Victorian defender, but is ultimately brought into touch. And Victoria have been super effective in defence. They've worked immensely hard with being forced to defend for most of this clash so far, as the Kestrels contest that line out and manage to really disrupt it. And Morrison coming off, looking in quite a bit of pain there. She's been very good for the Kestrels this competition, scoring a couple of tries and showing off some athleticism, as well as being an anchor in their set piece, as the Kestrels again win the line out, but don't get too far in attack. Looking to shift the ball. Dava to Edwards, who is super quick when she gets some space. She pops it inside, back to Dava, who's just dragged down. No, she actually breaks the tackle. They don't manage to collect her, but this time, the second effort, they do stop her run. As Grant again makes the meters. Oh, and that is a big hit. Been 2 powerful players there. The ball just dislodged. But no knock on, so the Kestrels continue to build that attack. And Brigstock this time does evade them and manages to hopefully get the ball down in just the nick of time before the Victorian defenders get to her. Puts it in a nice friendly position for Becca Masters to take the conversion, and the Kestrels finally get some reward for their relentless attacking dominance through Brigstock early in this second half. Nice passing chain there, that long bounce pass almost to Brigstock, who fends off the defender and runs, uses her pace, shows off her pace. A bit of a smile there. She knows that she's done well and puts it down and really breaks the game open for the Kestrels, putting them 17-0 up 45 minutes into this clash. And Victoria's defence has been tested all day, and they've generally been effective, but eventually the persistence and the relentlessness of the Kestrels has just meant that they've been able to take a chance. They have had a lot of opportunities, and Brigstock eventually it seemed inevitable that they would find an opportunity, and Charlie Brigstock, the winger there, really showed off her pace to score that one, and Masters with a fairly straightforward conversion attempt now, thanks to her wingers' footy smarts. And she'll hopefully put them up 19 points to 0. And she does, very straightforward, and the Kestrels will be really happy with that one. 19-0 they lead.
Conversion successful. ACT Southern New South Wales 19, Victoria 0.
Brigstock again, just used her footy brains to make sure to get the ball down in a friendly spot for that conversion to make sure they maximise their chances. So they lead 19-0, and another player looking a little bit sore, and sorry, maybe a potential cut to the head there.
Yeah. There was only one trainer we probably could have played away from it, but it's pretty important.
It has been a brutal, attritional type game today. The heat and the intensity of the contact from both sides. Seeing some sore players. Great to see her walking off there. Hopefully, again, nothing too serious, just a little bit of blood of a cut above the eye there.
Yeah. Bring her on there.
The trainer just making sure it's nothing too serious there for Tanya Yabaki. And great tackle there from Victoria, forces the ball out. But the Kestrels managed to pick it back up and have another chance to attack. And it's really been the story of the day. And Victoria just being forced to work and work and work in defence. The Kestrels on a forward pass. Just getting a little bit too eager in attack there, the Kestrels, and just push that pass forward. Just that one there to Edwards, deemed to be forward. And so they'll come back for the scrum with just outside the Kestrels 22. And Victoria will be looking to try and make some strong attacking chance from this.
18 more, please. Set. Hold. Come up.
Reset the scrum. The referee was quick
Just come up.
to the whistle.
Same mark. I'll still let you know. Coach! Boy! Sit!
Get that one out easy, Victoria. Quickly look to shift it left as the Kestrels rush up on them. But Talia manages to break that tackle, and Herrera tries to find the gap on the left-hand side, but can't quite do it. And Victoria just really eager, get it on the boot, over the top, bounces away from Edwards, and some great chase there from Leveni, but Edwards evades her. She's very silky, very evasive, Sienna Edwards, and she runs the Kestrels out of immediate danger there. As Masters goes to Grant. Victoria win the penalty in the breakdown there. And aren't they happy about it? They know that this is a really positive chance for them and potentially a momentum shifter.
Much better. You survived that initial contact.
They've really had some good field position the last 10 minutes or so after that last Kestrels try. And some great work at the breakdown there. Some subs coming on for the Kestrels. You said rolling substitutions in the Australian Rugby Shield, so players have a chance to manage the heat and their workloads really effectively to keep their legs fresh for the full 70 minutes. As Victoria get ready to set up an attacking chance. A nice clean lineup, but not straight. And that is really disappointing for Victoria. They won an attacking chance through some really good work at the breakdown, but just little errors like that costing them today, whether it be knock-ons or errors in the line-out particularly. Just letting the Kestrels off the hook and putting Victoria back under pressure. They certainly aren't playing like a team 19 points down, but they just haven't had the opportunities that the Kestrels have had today. And the weight of those opportunities, Kestrels win another penalty. Hands in the ruck there. So Bone will have a chance to kick to touch, and the Kestrels have really had all the opportunities through this game, and it's the weight of those opportunities that kind of meant scores would be inevitable, and they've been patient. They had 2 early scores and then started the second half with some good momentum before getting that third try just 8 minutes ago. The trainer attending to a Victorian player there behind play. Just been a brutal game out there today. And as we mentioned, already a very hot one. Plenty of water being run out to these players. Potentially a shoulder or back issue there. Shoulder. And she will run back into the line, shake it off.
One bit more for me. One bit more for me.
And Victoria go up high, but it's the Kestrels that win the line out fairly cleanly and quick to run the ball, as they have been. A nice offload there, and Fua crashes her way through. And they tried to pass out to Dove, but none of the Kestrels got their hands on it.
Knocked it on, then played it on the ground.
And then the Kestrels give away a penalty for playing the footy on the ground. So Victoria again have a chance. Looking at the Kestrels bench, really showing the signs of how brutal this game has been, especially played on this hot day.
Hold the front.
Just another look at that. Dawa tried to stop it with the inside foot, but it evaded her, and then the Kestrels give away a penalty for trying to play the ball on the ground. A great chance, Victoria, here in the Kestrels 22. A nice clean line-out win.
Ball.
They try to go the maul, but it's not going anywhere, so we'll have to use the ball and shift it into space. Try to run into a try. And Vatau Tuai tries to take some defenders with her. They shift to the right and try to go the inside line through Guffa, but just having to reset. Just need some patience here, Victoria, as Tabitha Peterkin runs it up, and they're just looking to the left. Little chest pass there into the hands of Akanisi Tsiros. And back inside. They just got to be persistent here, Victoria. Try not to give away the footy. Don't try to rush it too much. A no-look pass there. Opens up for Vatau Tuai, goes over the top, just collects it there. Talia. And it'll be nice reward here. Oh, another little pop it up, and oh, so close there from Victoria, but not quite onto the line. Oh, that is absolutely heartbreaking for Victoria. Building some phases in by far their best attacking opportunity so far, and Durera looked for all money like she was going to score there, but the Kestrels just would not let them. You can see there a nice no-look pass. They looked really like they were going to get the Kestrels on the hop. They couldn't quite get the numbers set there. The Kestrels goes to the right, and then this little chest pass there to Durera, who's just wrapped up centimetres before the line, and then a nice turnover there. They forced the knock on there, the Kestrels, and Oh, the Victorians would be absolutely shattered by that. Just looked like they looked like almost certain scorers then. As another Kestrel is replaced.
8 in more.
15 minutes left in this one, and Kestrels lead 19-0. And Victoria win the penalty in the scrum, and they have been incredibly effective in the scrum. They go the quick tap. They have to move the mark. Oh, they're being called back by the referee. A bit sore and sorry, Erica Maslin there from the Kestrels, just limping her way back into the defensive line. She's waving away the trainer, but looks like she might have hurt herself. And again, that tackle there, just stopping Durera from getting across the line. Really great there by the Kestrels' Lauren Freeman. And just Maslin having, looks like potentially a knee issue there, having that looked at. As Victoria were eager to go the quick tap after winning that scrum penalty, but they're being forced to wait. And then Maria Montoya just calming her teammates down. They don't want to get too excited. Make sure they play this smart. Maslin just given the all clear. And now Victoria can take that not so quick tap, I guess, but go straight into the arms of Gail. And they finally get the reward for their effort. And doesn't she love it? Lossolini Gail just taking that pass from Montoya. And they are on the board, Victoria, after 56 minutes. They've been forced to defend. And just that one pass, just the power from Gail there, just taking 4 or 5 Kestrels over the line and putting it down. And they finally get some reward. Just look at her there, taking the Kestrels, wrapped up, and she crashes down and just knows exactly where to put the footy for Victoria's first try of the game. And that will be a big confidence booster for Victoria. We've got about 13 minutes left, and they trail by 12 points. But they've really been on the attack a lot since the last Kestrels try about 15 minutes ago. And a successful conversion here would put them just 12 points behind. And, just hits the post. A really nice kick there, but just couldn't quite make it. Harmony Vatal Tuai. Just another look at that try. We love to see front rowers scoring tries, especially when they take half the defensive line with them. And just sneaks it over. And just great to see some celebrations there from Victoria, who have really pushed the Kestrels today, but haven't been able to get reward for their efforts. As the Kestrels get us back underway, we've got about 12 minutes left in this game, 14 points the margin. And the Kestrels have dominated for large parts of the day, but the Victorians now have their confidence boosted after that last score. So we'll see what they can bring in this last sort of 10 or so minutes. And they go to the boat, but it's charged down by Bone, and she goes again. Doesn't go very far, but we can already see some fatigue creeping in as Edwards doesn't seem to show the fatigue that some of her teammates might be showing. Runs it up on the left wing. And the Kestrels look to quickly move it. Grant finds a little gap, but is quickly taken down in the second attempt. And playing advantage, so the Kestrels will get the possession.
We're down the stand again. That's no more.
And
Sorry, the what? The high tackles?
Hey, that's off her feet, but there's been too many.
it looks like the referee
Off
going in
your
his
feet.
pocket there, and a yellow card for Victoria, and that is disappointing after they finally scored that try. Just the weight of territory against them, just giving away a few too many penalties Just that one
Hold the front.
for off her feet there against Tanya Yabaki, who will now have to sit off with that yellow card. And yeah, disappointing for Victoria, and puts the Kestrels really in the box seat to extend this lead as they go to the maul. And Holly George looks to get it out. They shift it quickly across, looking for that overlap on the right wing. Edwards runs through the gap, almost goes herself, but thinks better off it, and throws it out to Brigstock, who has the ball forced out of her by the Victorian defender. There's a knock on both ways, and we'll have a scrum. And
26, blue 26 off.
again, Victoria playing now with a player down in this last few minutes of this clash, trailing by 14. They're defending Australian Rugby Shield champions, looking to clinch third place today, but it is the ACT Southern New South Wales Kestrels who have had the say of the play most of today. Nice little rhyme for you all on a Monday, as we wait for the scrum to get set. And Victoria win the penalty. They've really used the scrum effectively. It looks like it might be the referee going to the pocket again after
hips up for me, okay? There's been too many of those.
Too many scrum penalties for the Kestrels, and so now it'll be 14 on 14 after both sides just racking up the penalties, breakdown penalties in their defensive area for Victoria, and scrum infringements for the Kestrels, just costing them. And Victoria did win the penalty at that last scrum, so they'll have the chance to kick clear out of defence as Emma Hickey watches on for the from the sideline for the Kestrels.
Just a bit more for me, okay? Thank you.
Grant does disrupt that line out, but the Victorians do clean it up and look to shift the ball. A little bit more open space for both sides now, playing on 14 on 14. Forward pass. And just again, the Victorians just in attack, making some little mistakes that are just costing them. They're forcing the pass, trying to get something going. They've got a bit of time pressure now to try and narrow the margin, and just throwing some wayward passes, a little bit too ambitious. And that last one just going forward. And the Kestrels just negotiating the makeup of their scrum with hooker Emma Hickey on the sideline.
Yep.
Just getting a prop to come on. Madeline Gagala packing down in the front row.
Coach! Born! 8 in. Set! Hey! Yep.
And pressure again from Montoya there, but the Kestrels do manage to get the ball away. Masters quickly taken down by the Victorian defence as well. They have been ferocious today, Victoria's defensive line. Really could have been much further on the back foot had it not been for their intensity. Those two players, they're yellow carded, trying to stay cool as best they can in this pretty steamy morning. It's only 10 past 10. It's already 25 degrees in Brisbane, and expected to get to 86% humidity today, which by anyone's measure is a hot day to be playing footy. That is for sure. And it's good to see the spectators able to get out of the sun in the newly redeveloped stands of the National Rugby Training Centre down at Ballymore, which has proven a great venue for this competition this year.
Born! 18, more. Set. Steady.
Victoria just put under pressure at that scrum. We see there, it's like the New South Wales countryside just watching on. Or sorry, rather the Australian Defence Force there. It's great to see all the teams watching the finals today. Reminder, will be Queensland country and New South Wales country playing off for the overall title later on this afternoon here at Ballymore. This is the third place playoff. These two teams finishing second in pool play. And it is the Kestrels that have been dominant, but Victoria, while they haven't had the attacking opportunities, have really put the pressure on the Kestrels as Edwards tries to find that gap on the left-hand side, just balks a little bit and is eventually pulled into touch by Calvin Gaffer. But the Kestrels win the penalty for a late tackle. Just a high tackle there, it looks like, from Gaffer.
What colour?
The Kestrels a kick to touch. And they'll have a line out on the Victorian 22. And a reminder, we're still playing 14 on 14 after both sides lost to players who have repeated infringements. And the Kestrels with a clean line out there, looking to shift the ball quickly and open up the pace of those backs that they have. But a little bit of a wayward pass there from Scrivener, and they just a little bit of a scramble to pick it up, and a knock on in the end.
We have full time on field 2, and Queensland Suburban Rugby Union.
The Victorian bench have moved themselves up into the shade.
16.
Very smart on a day like today. Make sure they're not sweltering away in that Brisbane heat. Victoria feed the scrum.
8 in more. Set. Steady.
And ball just... Kestrels win the penalty there.
You can't break. You can't get it.
And they take the quick tap, looking for another score. As Ty just wrapped up by Raveni there. And the Kestrels eager to add to their score. Scored 3 tries so far today, just 1 in this second half. And 2 conversions for Becca Masters. Just shifting there right. Any
Can't pull through, can't pull, leave it wide.
looking to that wing, but George goes herself. And then Kestrel's just desperate here to make some meters and just give themselves a chance to put the icing on the cake. Very much been the dominant side today with most of the attacking opportunities, despite some great pressure from Victorian defence, the defending champions there. A nice offload there from Edwards into Grace Ty, and she looks to break the tackle, almost slips out of it, but a second helper comes in for Victoria. And that is full time in this third place playoff, and it is the ACT and Southern New South Wales Kestrels who have come out on top with a pretty dominant display despite some really intense defence from Victoria. And it's Jess Grant, Viola Dava and Charlie Brigstock scoring tries for the Kestrels, while Lossalini Gale scored the only try for the Victorians, the defending Australian Rugby Shield champions. And a reminder that there is plenty more action to come today. We've got all of the finals right here on Rugby.com.au and Rugby Explorer. It'll be Queensland country and New South Wales country playing off for the main title. Just looking at that Grant try again. dragging the Victorian defender over the line. And a nice 1-2 there from Lindsay. Ty looking for Dava, just dragging some defenders and popping it off at exactly the right time for her fullback to go over the line and get some reward for great effort. And this last try for the Kestrels really sealed the win for them, and 2 conversions for Becca Masters, and that puts them in 3rd place for this competition, the 2nd year of the women's competition. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully you stick around for the rest of the action for the rest of the day.